So I've been meaning to make this video for a number of days now. By the way, before I continue, I do have mints in my mouth, so if I do anything weird with my mouth, it's because I have mints in there. But that out of the way, I've been meaning to make this video for a while, talking about n8n. I made a video in like mid-October about an automation workflow, and that's one of the more successful videos on my channel. I think it has like 129 views, if I'm being exact. And it seems to be something that can be successful. The workflow that I made isn't even that special. Basically, what I told people was how to connect one, Coinbase in this case, to n8n, and that's just one video. So I could try making more and make something out of it. So why haven't I? Well, this is a multi-layered question, and I'll just begin with how it started. So in September or so, that's when I started doing work for my dad. And I was also at that time still doing part-time work for, I've been doing part-time work for this guy online for like 5 years. So I was doing 7 hours a day for my dad and 2 hours a day for the other guy. And that was already a lot. But for some reason, a couple weeks in to starting work with my dad, I decided, you know what, I've been thinking about this n8n thing for a while now. My schedule is not going to get any easier, so let me just try and do it anyway. So I spent like 1 to 2 hours every single day on n8n on a workflow, specifically the workflow that I posted on YouTube. This was a mix of frustrating and very satisfying. I think that's very typical with when you have systems like these, when you can't figure out what you're doing or what's wrong. It can be very frustrating, but once you finally figure it out, that can be very rewarding. So I was doing this for, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a whole month. I was getting into the AI more. I was watching more n8n videos. I joined a school community about n8n. And eventually it came to the point where I completed this automation. I made a video about it and I posted it. And I think it got like 20 to 30 views. After I posted it, I basically crashed and panicked because for the past month and a half, I was like, go, 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 all this grinding, and didn't really give myself any time to myself. I haven't really given myself the opportunity to explore the place that I'm living in, the city. I wasn't making attempts at being social. I wasn't allowing myself to partake in hobbies of mine. And all of a sudden, I finish this video, the project is done, I have all this free time, but nothing to do with it. So I think that really put me on edge, and I got into a sort of a panic from that. And the next several weeks, maybe even the next couple of months, it was much of the same, where I just wasn't in the state to make more workflows, more automations. And even more so, the automation that I made took me like 2 to 3 weeks, and the amount of time it saves in my own life is like 5 minutes, maybe less, maybe like 1 to 2 minutes. So the payoff wasn't that great. It just wasn't really. I know that there's a cumulative effect where you learn a new skill. Making automations is a skill. Learning how to apply them is a skill. Systems and systems thinking is a skill, and you're not going to get huge payoffs right away. But with the consequence of spending all my time on stuff that wasn't for me, this was a big blow. And I've resisted going back to n8n since for these reasons. That being said, my schedule has opened up a little bit. I'm more flexible with my main work with my dad. I'm no longer working with that other guy. And I'm allowing myself to be more social and to do things for fun that I wasn't allowing myself to do before. So the idea of n8n is kind of appearing again. And there's a number of reasons I'm considering it again. First of all, it's something specific to work towards. So with this YouTube channel, I do like making these videos, and sometimes I'm streaming a game or something. It's fun. I think it's fun, but it's not a directed sort of intention. And for someone like me, I'm a very driven guy. I've had a lot of ups and downs with my drive in the past. In high school, I was too driven almost, where I would neglect my needs and wants. And ever since then, that was with basketball mostly. Ever since then, I've kind of struggled to find that drive again or something to drive towards. So it's been a struggle for me to manage the desire to drive towards something. Now, the thing with this YouTube channel, which what I've been doing already with it or recently, it's more of an expressive thing than it is a drive. I don't have a desire to make the insight videos and the gaming and whatever I talk about. I don't really have a desire to make that into a drive. That kind of takes away the fun in it for me. I like being able to post whenever I want, whatever I want. So it's a problem for me to try and turn that into like a sort of business or something. I tried doing that, I think a year ago. I made some videos that were more polished, more editing involved, but I don't really like doing that. So I'm not going to. So n8n, doing that again, gives me an opportunity to drive towards something. And I might be posting that on my channel for now, but I can still use my channel for everything else too. Another massive and obvious benefit is just money making. Besides for having a directed theme to work on my channel, which obviously brings in an audience. Eventually that could lead to ad revenue. n8n is a business tool. So people watching n8n videos are interested in being productive. They're interested in productivity. n8n is not typically a tool people just use for fun. It's not like playing guitar or playing video games. There's an intent to produce something or to earn money using n8n. So the community around it is lucrative. You could have people watch your video and then reach out to you to do a partnership. You can make them an automation. You could set something up for them and you can earn money. So you can build a business, basically, is what I'm saying. This is a verifiable business. It's up and coming. It's hot. The fact that my video is doing pretty decently and still gets views, by the way, it's every week I'm getting 2 to 5 views on it, and it's been months after release. So obviously people are looking up this stuff. It's viable to make money. So that's obviously a benefit. I think those are the two main benefits. I don't quite remember if there's anything else on my mind. But obviously I haven't started making videos about n8n again, so why haven't I? I'm going to go into that now. First of all is that very same thing. It's a money-making tool. People who are interested in it are interested in it mostly for money, not just for what it is. That's both a benefit and a negative for me. I've just struggled again with like drive and figuring out what I want to pursue the past many years, and I think a lot of that has been just trying to find purpose too much, to the point where sometimes if I just choose something that doesn't feel purposeful or meaningful before it's proven to me that it can be, this kind of deadens my motivation, or at least it has in the past, especially if I contribute more resources towards it. The fact is, it takes time out of my day to do this. So if I were to, let's say, spend 1 hour on n8n, that's 1 hour less on my days. I think in my case, I'd probably wake up an hour earlier and do an hour of it in the morning. But that means I'm going to bed an hour earlier. And recently I've been expanding my social life. I've been doing things that are more fun for me. That stuff is in my evenings usually. So cutting that down means constricting my evenings, my time to express, my time to be with other people, my time to enjoy and to have fun, which is threatening in a way. It's threatening that I'm taking time away from that because I've been enjoying the freedom. I've wanted to pursue something in a more direct and intentional way, but there is the consequence of losing time in my evening. Now, I know this is normal. A lot of people barely get any time in their evening at all. So it's not a massive deal, but for me, I just haven't allowed myself freedom to do what I've wanted to do in so long that it's kind of bittersweet to just cut out an hour. And an hour is minimum. I think an hour a day is almost not enough. Ideally 2 hours a day, if not an hour and a half, which is more doable in my case. But an hour is kind of like an introductory thing, just to start. I think an hour and a half every day is kind of like the minimum amount of time to actually get somewhere with this. That one automation I made took me like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. barely does anything, so there is a compounding effect, but you got to put in the time and effort, and that's something you sacrifice. So that's one thing I've been considering that's been an issue. I don't know if I mentioned this already. I may have mentioned this next point, but because it's a money-making tool, from what I've experienced anyway, the community online is, well, they're not very personable, in my opinion. A lot of people who make videos about n8n pretend to be passionate about it, but you can just see behind their mask, like, really, they just want to make money. I'm in that boat too, in the fact that I'm using the tool, or I want to use the tool to make money. But ideally, I want to still be personable. I want to present myself as a person, a normal guy who's just doing this thing. Yes, I have the intention to make money from it, but I also want to be known for who I am, not for this AI or n8n online sort of persona. That's really important to me. That's something that I've determined about myself. It's important for me to be who I am and not to be defined by things that I do too much anyway. So deciding to make videos about n8n and to be intentional about it can be scary. And I don't want to throw myself into a space that doesn't feel authentic. That's real. Of course, I can always make videos in my own style and be personable about it and be honest and still make these insight videos and gaming videos and streaming. I could do all that. I think all that would help. But the community itself online is still leans towards not being very personable, in my opinion. There's exceptions, there always are, and I think that's great. And maybe that's kind of the silver lining here is if I'm able to present that in a way that is personable, then maybe I'll attract people to the channel and to my work if I do that, who are also liking that better. They like the honesty, they like the genuine person I attempt to give off. That could be a benefit as I'm saying this now. And yeah, I think the last thing, there's not too much, but the last thing would probably be a business is a commitment. It's not a job where somebody else has the responsibility and you're just there doing the work. Once you have a business, you have agreements. You might have people who are working for you that you're responsible for getting them paid. You're eventually going to be responsible for yourself. If the business grows large enough, the power is in your hands to make your own living. There's a huge amount of upside to this. Having responsibility is just a thing that feels great. You have more freedom. You can be more flexible. You can do things, you can do business how you want to do business. But when things go shitty, you're also responsible for that. There could be fun there, but I'm not someone who's had that sort of responsibility yet. And of course, that can be daunting, just going into that because of some notion that I could do well. I want to be able to think through it and understand if it's something that I really want to do, something that I really want to commit to. You can't just back out of a business so easily. In the early stages, of course, you can, but the deeper you go into it, it's harder to. Now, of course, the deeper you go into it, ideally, the more rewards you get, so that might balance it out. And maybe I would like the responsibility. I think I would, to a degree. But that is another factor that I've been considering as to why I've been hesitating. Overall, though, I'd say, well, there is actually one more thing, and that is that it's not a passion for me. Look, gaming is not a passion for me either. Speaking about insights is closer to a passion. I do these things for fun, though. I have permission to do or not do them. With a business, you need to show up every day, or else your business is probably just not going to get off the ground. So it's a thing that I have to do intentionally, consistently, and that it's not a passion of mine. I know that you can become more passionate about something once you become more involved with it. Once you take the time to get better at it, to provide with it, to earn with it, I think passion builds over time. But again, like I said in my past, I've had a weird relationship with drive. And it's been really hard for me to take that step into something that I'm not sure I want to do. For me, again, it's a business tool that can make me money. I think it's cool, but it's not a passion, at least not yet. So that's been a that's been one of the main reasons I've been hesitating. Yeah, that's about it. I think the main reason is just the time. I've really liked the ability to hop on my friend's Discord channel and play rivals, or just hang out with them, or to go to BJJ, or to chill, read a book, watch a show, do whatever I want, basically go out. And I'm cutting out, an hour at least of that. If I get serious, an hour and a half, 2 hours, that means my evenings are very compressed relative to how they are now. If I go to BJJ, that's basically my entire evening. That, dinner, one episode of a 20-minute show, sleep. So it's a risk in many ways. I might start trying it tomorrow, maybe the next day, maybe not at all. We'll see. I'll see how it goes, how I feel. I know that in life, I'm learning in life, you have to be intentional about things you want. And I think that's a good thing to practice. So I'm leaning towards doing it. I'm just a little bit hesitant. And I wanted to share this video. I'll also note, if any of you are watchers of my n8n video, let me know if you have any workflows you want me to make. I kind of don't have too many ideas. I know that I'll have more ideas as I go forward, but I only have a couple of small personal ideas. If there's any basic workflows you might want me to go over or try and build, I can try and do that. And we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and see you later.